Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, A Magical Life with Ayla. I'm Ayla Hillel, and today we're going to be talking about the origins of healing. So let's get started. So everything that we do on this channel is talking about issues and topics that affect our vibration and our energy. Now, when we talk about vibration and energy, what we're really talking about is cellular level healing. Okay, so this takes a long time, and it takes the consideration of a lot of different topics. So today we're going to talk about the origins of healing and the origins of magic and the origin of prosperity and wealth and health and love. It's all the same vibration. It all comes from the same place. And when I say love, what I'm talking about is relationships. And any kind of relationship, not just romantic relationships, but relationships are one of our main teachers. It's one of the main reasons that we come here is to be in relationship with each other, but not just romantic relationship, but all kinds of relationships. My favorite relationships are the ones I have with my child and the ones I have with my family and my friends. Those are my favorite relationships. There's a lot of rules to being in a relationship on this level, particularly a romantic relationship. There's a lot of kind of unwritten things about the way the relationship should go. And all of that affects our cellular vibration and energy. Okay, so let's talk about the origin of healing and relationships and magic and money and health. Let's talk about the origins of that energy. Okay, it's all the same energy. It's all the same energy. Is that hard to believe? I'm sure that for some of you it probably is hard to believe, but it's all the same energy. Think about how you feel in a new relationship. Think about how you feel in a relationship that's not new, that has stood the test of time, that has weathered the storms and gone through some really scary stuff. Okay, you feel comfortable and looked after and cared for and loved. Think about how you feel when you're struggling to get a bill paid and you're really focusing on getting this bill paid, and then all of a sudden the money just shows up. I don't know about you, but I feel looked after. I feel like the universe loves me. They're looking after me. I've always wondered if the universe understands the concept of money. I think they do, but they're not intimately involved with it the way we are down here. And I've heard people say, money is the root of all evil. No, that is not true. Having a dark heart, that is the root of all evil. Having a heart that is absence of the light of good and the light of rightness, what some people call righteousness, rightness. We know the difference between right and wrong, okay? Having a heart that is wanting to willfully and deliberately hurt other people, that is the root of all evil, not money. Now, sometimes evil people, and I define evil as people who deliberately and willfully want to hurt other people. So sometimes evil people will take their money and they will do bad things with it. Money is like magic. It just is. And what you do with it decides whether it's good or bad. So I talk a lot about money. I talk a lot about manifesting money because on this third dimensional reality, we need money like we need relationships, like we need to be healthy, right? So these are the three things that drives us to our magic. Being healthy helps us move forward in our life. It helps us to make money. It helps us to be present in the relationships that we have. Having a relationship or having lots of I have lots of relationships. I have family and I have friends, and then in those relationships we have that helps drive us towards having a balanced life, wanting to go to work and wanting to pay our bills. So the point I'm trying to make is that it all works together. This vibrational energy of healing, of magic, of relationships, of money, of health, all works together to create your life. Okay, but that's not the origin. The topic of this video is, what is the origin? What is the origin of these things, of healing, of relationships, of health and wealth, and all the things that we need to have a happy, balanced life in the third dimensional reality? What is the origin? So the origin is actually love. Yeah. Love is the answer to everything. Okay, stop right there, because I really think that many times we don't understand what love actually is. Love is very different from how we try to define it in the third dimension. So when you say love, the first thing a person thinks of is a relationship, right? And if you say, no, not that kind of love, then there's subcategories that follows after relationship, as if relationship is the most important definition of love, right? It's not. The second thing we think of is like parent and child. Well, there's lots of parents in the third dimensional reality that is totally blowing the whole love thing with their child, right? So we have to stop and look at love from a vibrational point of view. If this thing, I'm not going to call it an emotion. I don't think it's an emotion. I mean, we get emotional about it down here. We get emotionally attached. When I was a little girl, I looked up the definition of love in my silver Merriam-Webster dictionary. And the definition was an emotional attachment. So you can have an emotional attachment to your money. You can have an emotional attachment to a relationship. You can have an emotional attachment. Not too many of us think about our health. We don't think of it in terms of being emotionally attached to our health. But if you've been sick, you do. If you've been sick and then you get well, you don't ever want to go back to that other place. So you develop an emotional attachment to being healthy. And so we have to kind of look at this origin to all the topics in our life, this origin of love, From a vibrational point of view, if we want to expand it, which my job is to help you expand it, to give you ideas, to expand everything, expand your thought process about everything. So if we're going to remove the idea of emotional attachment, let's just remove that idea for a minute. And let's look at the vibration and the energy of love. So many times when we're in relationships, one of the really difficult things about relationships is you have two completely different people with two completely different ideas about how the relationship should go. So this person wants to control the relationship according to their ideas of how it should go. So people get upset when their partner doesn't text them in a timely manner, or they get upset when they see their partner talking to someone else, or maybe their partner wants to go out and have fun with their friends, and we think in our relationship they should only want to be with me, they should only want to talk to me, they should only want to go out and have fun with me. Now, there are evolved relationships, I understand that, where both people, one or both people in the relationship is very understanding. This person has a life. They have a social group outside of the relationship. They're not going to text back right away. They are going to talk to other people. They come in contact with other people every day. So when we get to a place where we can't accept these things, what do we call that? We call that jealousy, don't we? Jealousy is a very toxic vibration, and that becomes one of the terms of the relationship in some cases. And that is one or both people wanting to control the relationship. Okay? They don't accept the other person the way they are. They don't accept their personality. They don't accept their lifestyle. So love, a base vibration for love, can be acceptance. Okay? So many times, especially when I was younger, I used to see people get together or get married, and the husband would be like, well, you'd be really cute if you didn't wear your hair that way. Well, she wore her hair that way the entire time you were dating and you didn't say a word. But now they're married, so he wants to control her. And likewise, wives do the same thing. It's like, well, we're married now. You need to get a better job. You need to be a better person. You need to change this about your personality or that about your personality. So here's this vibration of control, and in many cases, dominance. They married the person and then they wanted to change them. So the aspect of acceptance changes the vibration. When you look at another person and you love them just the way they are, and you don't want to change anything about them, that changes the vibration. That's a very healthy, balanced vibration. Situations. There's a lot of situations that many of us want to control. Usually those situations involve people. But right now I'm not talking about controlling people the way I was a minute ago. Right now I want to talk about situations, and how sometimes we want to just grab that situation by the horns and wrestle it to the ground, and we're going to superimpose our will over the top of it and make it what we want it to be. And there are many times that you just can't do that, especially when another person is involved in that situation. People are going to do what people want to do. And many times we have control over a situation by the choices that we make. And lots of times we don't have control over a situation. So if you turn loose of that aspect of wanting to change something or wanting to control it or wanting it to be different than what it is, that will raise your vibration. Okay, so that's one aspect of love, is just acceptance. Just acceptance. Just accept it for what it is. Okay, and move on. And that way you take all that stress off of who you are. You take all that stress off of what is going on in your cells and creating that energy and that vibration. So love then becomes not so much something that we experience, but it becomes a practice. When we can look out into the world with knowledge and wisdom and understanding, there are some really awful things that are going on out in the world right now. Why? Why are these things happening? Keep listening. Keep telling your angels and your spirit guides that you want to understand the world. You want to understand these really terrible, awful things that are happening. You will get the answers. You will get the answer. You will get the wisdom and the knowledge about what is going on out in the world. And when you can look out into the world with understanding and be able to somewhat accept what is happening, that's going to affect your cellular vibration and your community, the community energy that is you. Now, I'm not saying that we say, oh, this homeless guy over here, that's his path. He wrote that down. That's what he wanted to experience when he came here. So I don't have to do anything about that. No, that's not what that means. If there is a charity, if there is a nonprofit organization, if there is a person that is out there on the front lines working for a particular cause, and you feel a need to get involved with it or to make a donation to it, you're obligated to do that by your spirit, not because anybody said so. Okay, so we can look out into the world, we can look at other people with a degree of wisdom and knowledge and acceptance. And in that place, we can fall in love. Now, what do I mean by falling in love? So, I think, we hear this phrase all the time. Oh, I'm so in love with you. Oh, I fell in love with him, or I fell in love with her. And we get this picture in our head of what it is to fall in love. And the origins of magic and the origins of healing and the origins of relationship and the origin, there's only one origin. I keep saying origins. There's only one origin of everything that motivates our life, and that is love. But it's not what we're used to hearing on the third dimension. We think of falling in love. We think, oh, I fell in love with this person. I'm in a relationship with them now. And really, when you talk about the topic of love, what we're talking about is a high vibrational state of being. Love is a high vibrational state of being that has nothing to do with another person, that has nothing to do with another person reciprocating those feelings. I love a whole bunch of people, and some of them reciprocate those feelings back to me and some of them don't. And that's okay, because my high vibrational state of being, my high vibrational state of love, is not dependent on what anybody else does or doesn't do. So that's kind of a strange thought, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of a strange thought. I am in love. I am in love with this realm. I am in love with people. I am in love with animals. I am in that place where me being in love is about me. It's about me. It's about my vibration. So this gives us a different perspective to the idea of love, and love then becomes a practice. Does that sound odd? It's not actually an emotion in this case, it's a practice. So, how do we practice love? In quantum physics, they talk about something called the observer mode. And the observer is the person who's in a situation minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, and they just simply observe. They don't try to direct the energy. They don't try to change the energy or change another person or the energy of a situation. They simply are there in that moment, not affected by what's happening, not scared or anxious, just watching what is happening around them. And so I think when we talk about the practice of love, when we're talking about people and situations, which in this third dimensional reality, there's always going to be people or situations. Become the observer. Watch what is going on around you. Watch how people are behaving and what they're doing and the choices that they're making. Watch the situations and don't try to change things. Just kind of watch it. People aren't going to change. This is something that, when you've been at this for a while, you start to understand that people are who they are. And unless they decide they need to change, they're not going to change. So trying to change people works kind of counterproductive to the high vibrational state of love. So you want to just kind of accept people the way they are. Just become aware, become very aware, and even practice a little mindfulness that as you look out in the world, as you function day to day in your life, as you begin to really notice the things that are going on around you, that you do not have to change any of that. You are not responsible. Now, I'm not talking about minor children. I'm not talking about situations where you may actually be responsible. There are so many things that interfere with our vibration, our high vibration of love. There are so many things that interfere with that are not our responsibility. We make drama. We hurt people's feelings because we think, I've got to go be responsible for that. I'm gonna tell them what I think, and I'm gonna change the course of their life because they're on a bad path. This other person's bad path is none of your business. And listen to me carefully, because I use the phrase none of your business or none of my business often. And what I mean by that is you are exempt. You are exempt from any responsibility from the decisions another person is making or a situation that is out of your control. Don't try to control it. Okay? So become the observer. Become aware in that situation of what is happening. And many times, I will not even render an opinion about something unless I'm asked. And then I try to make that opinion as user-friendly as possible. And what do I mean by that? So I don't want to offend someone when they're asking my opinion. Well, I'm about to make this decision. What do you think, Ayla? I don't want to be like, well, you're a big dummy. What are you doing? No, that is not, it's not efficient. It's not efficient. If you want to be heard, choose your words. Choose those words. Choose words that are not offensive, that are actually efficient words. Well, you can do what you're doing, or you could do it this way. Now, don't be offended if a person goes the other direction. It was none of your business to start off with. And you were honored because they wanted to know what you thought. So just take it as a sign of respect and move on. Okay, so that's one of the things that we can do. We can enter the observer mode where we're not in control. We don't want to be control. We don't want to be in control. We're just watching everything that's going on around us without a lot of emotion, without a lot of thought. These are just things that are happening. This person is just on this path. That's just the way it is. So that's probably the best thing that we can do, and getting some education about what's going on out in the world. And I don't mean education like why did this war start, or why do people murder people. We are never going to understand these sorts of things. But from a spiritual level, the greatest piece of information that I ever got was that each one of us are individuals. Each one of us are on our own path. We come here to accomplish a certain thing. Now, I'm careful how I talk about this, because in our history as a world, as a planet, there have been some really, really heinous people that have existed in our history who have done horrible, horrible things to people. Now, it could be that that person who came and did those awful things, that's the path he wrote out or she wrote out for themselves before they came here. The people who were on the receiving end of that may have very well wrote that out for themselves because they wanted to have that experience. This is a very painful thought, and especially if you're experiencing a loss and that those feelings are still raw. But what if, stop and think for a minute, what if each one of us wanted to experience the life that we're having? And you might think to yourself, well, my life is pretty ineffectual. It's pretty impotent. Okay. Did we want to come here and experience that? Did we want to come here and experience limitations and how to function and have a life within those limitations? Did we want to come here and be this horrible villain, or we wanted to come here and experience the horrible villain? So these are some really difficult thoughts, and I have adopted a lot of these thoughts, a lot of these ideas, and it helps me to look out into the world and be like, wow, that's a really intense life plan. That person wrote down, while they were on the other side planning their life, a really intense life plan. Okay. So that's the education that I've had. And like I said before, it may make us feel better to go and to become active in making that situation healed, or to make donations to it, or to send energy to it. I'm a light worker. This phrase that we use, a light worker. And what that means is that I am focusing on the healing, on my own healing. First and foremost, I focus on my own healing. Then I focus on other people getting well. And then my thought is of my community being well. I live in a low-income area of Medford, and there's a lot of things that go on in this area with the homeless. And I knew right away, the minute I moved into this area, I knew why I was here, and that was to bring a healing vibration to this area. There's so much sickness here. I am here to be a light for my community. And then beyond that, I hold and anchor the light for the world. Not that I interfere. If I am correct about my idea that we all plan our life and our path before we come here, I don't want to interfere with what other people are doing. But I want my light to soothe that and balance it a little bit, if that's what is needed. I don't know what is needed. The universe takes my energy and applies it where it's needed. So having a little understanding of love and what love is, and that love is really a very accepting place and a place full of wisdom and understanding. We're not going to sit in ignorance and wonder why things happen the way they happen. I mean, look for the answers and let those answers be applied to your vibration. So I think that's really all I have to say today. I just want you to understand that love is not what we think it is. It's actually something much, much greater. And it comes from a place of balance and understanding and wisdom and being willing to help wherever we are asked to help. Have you ever helped somebody and then they were like, go away and leave me alone? And you think, wow, how ungrateful when I was here to help you anyway. That person did not ask you for your help. And this is one of the things that we need to remember as we raise our vibration, as we enter the arena of light workers. You ask to help where you are helped. My light is here, it's available, and I give it to whoever wants it. The universe takes my light because it knows where to apply that light. So we want to be very careful in our high vibrational state of love to not violate another person's free will, to not violate their life plan. And this is why magical people I will not do any magic to help someone get well unless they tell me that's what they want first. Because I don't know what they have planned, what they planned when they wrote down their life plan. I don't know what they had planned with this illness. It was something they obviously wanted to experience. The question then becomes, did they want to experience that for the rest of their life? Or did they want to have that experience, heal from that experience, and then move on? That's where I come in. If they ask me to help them with their healing, that's what I do. So I have a website. I put out everything that I do on my website. I tell you how to register for healing sessions and for modules, I call them. And you can come if that's what you want to do. If you feel so led, you can register and purchase a healing module. And I'm going to be there with you. This is very simple. I don't have to be out there going door to door, checking with people. I know that's a funny thought, going door to door as a healer and telling people, you know, I do this and I do this and come and let me heal you. I want you to come and let me help you heal yourself if that's what you want. Because many, many people do not want to be healed for a variety of reasons, and that is okay. But for those of you who want to be healed, there are many healers, such as myself, worldwide, who know the way into their healing. And many of us know our way into our healing because we were wounded and we had to find the way for ourselves. And that's another high vibrational point of love. I went through this thing and then I healed. I healed myself. You can heal yourself. The only person who can heal yourself is you. And you do that through love. You do it through love of yourself. And then once you are healing and you are overflowing with love, then you can give that to your family, to your community, and to your planet. Okay, so that's all I want to say today. Please subscribe to my channel and push the like button and leave a comment below. Tell me that you think I'm full of crap or you agree with me, whatever, either way. And I have a website. The website is amagicallifewithayla.com. And on the website, there's information there. There's a bunch of free stuff, and then there's some stuff you can purchase. And don't look at the website on your phone. The website doesn't look good. When I look at the website on my phone, it doesn't look good. So I've got to kind of figure that out, what's going on with that. Look at it on your computer. It's very beautiful. And the website is for information and for connecting with me. amagicallifewithayla.com. One word, all lowercase, .com. Okay. So, blessings. And I will see you soon. Blessed be.